And so we need to decide what the important things are in our lives and create our life around those things.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Anyone, Anywhere. So today we are with Jeff Heggie. Let me do a quick intro about Jeff. So Jeff is an entrepreneur with more than 20 years experience in startups, manufacturing, and retail world. Jeff is also a business development coach, marketing strategist, mastermind facilitator, and certificate knowledge broker. To end, Jeff is also the host of the Daily Success Strategy podcast and the Jeff and Heidi show. Jeff, how are you today, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today.
Thank you so much. So let's start from the beginning, from the ones that still don't know you. Can you tell me a little bit about you, about your background?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, my name is Jeff Heggie. I'm originally from Canada, Southern Alberta, and I now live in Gilbert, Arizona in the US. I got a diverse background, from being a professional rodeo cowboy to a banker to quitting the banking industry to start making rocks. And so I started in 2005, started a company called Kodiak Mountain Stone, which we are a manufacturer of artificial stone veneer. That's the stone that you see on the front of houses and stuff like that. And it's been interesting, since 2005. Obviously, we've seen about every economy in the housing industry that you can imagine. And so it's been quite a ride and definitely a learning experience. And along the way, I've had a lot of opportunities to mentor people, coach people, and do different things. And it was always a desire of mine to also get into the coaching side. And it was a couple of years ago, my CFO made an introduction and said, you need to meet a guy because I know you've always wanted to get into the coaching and you just need to meet this guy. Turns out this guy's got a very similar background to me. And after talking to him for a while, he basically said to me, why aren't you doing it? He says, you've got the qualifications, you've got the credentials, you've definitely got the experience. If you want to be doing it, why aren't you? And I think that was the thing that kind of pushed me past the imposter syndrome and decide, yeah, I can be helping people and I can be doing what I love. And so I still run my other company, Kodiak Mountain Stone, but I've been coaching the last couple of years as well, which has really been something I've been passionate about.
Nice. It's really I love the background and the importance that you give to listen to yourself, to listen, if you can say, to your gut. Let's go a little bit into that because I think that is quite important. How was the moment that you feel that was not right, that you had to do some change? What?
I've had a lot of those experiences. Probably could call them epiphany moments that, we're working on different things and realize that there needs to be a change. Even with my company, Kodiak Mountain Stone, we've had to pivot a number of times, and that's not an easy thing to do. Even in 2017, so from 2005 to 2017, our main focus was manufacturing. In the end of 2017, I decided to shut down the manufacturing and just to become a distributor. And, those are tough decisions because they impact a lot of different things and a lot of different people. But a lot of it is what you said, following your gut. And, I think that comes with a lot of experience and the knowledge you build up over years of experience too. But I think for me, in the coaching aspect of it, kind of, everyone's got their own limiting beliefs on why they can't do certain things. And, I think for me in the coaching realm, it was feeling that I didn't have probably the qualifications to be a coach. Like, who am I to help someone that way? But then when it was sitting down and looking at it and looking that, yeah, I do actually have the qualifications, I've got the background, the experience, the certifications. Why aren't I doing it? And who am I not helping because I'm not allowing myself to do it. And so it was kind of that moment saying, yeah, it's something that I need to do because I want to do it, but also because I know I can help someone.
I think it's very interesting, like what you said. Let's talk a little bit more about the coaching. Uh, what is your job as a coach? Can you give me an idea, please?
Absolutely. So for the most part, I started mostly focused just on the business coaching part of it. And a lot of what I focus on with the business coaching is working with small and medium sized businesses that don't have a lot of money to put into their marketing and advertising, and show them how they can increase their leads, increase their conversions, all those things on a dramatic basis without spending a bunch into marketing and advertising, because there's a lot of ways to do it. And a lot of people think it's all throwing money into marketing and advertising, which it's not. And showing people how they can do different things and strategize and just create a lot more within their business without spending a lot of money. Because, let's face it, a lot of small businesses, they don't have a lot of money to be spending on marketing and advertising. They don't have the millions of dollars in their budget for marketing. And, there's a lot of strategies that can help people to get around that. And so from the coaching aspect, I strictly started on the business coaching like that. But what I found, whether I was working with an entrepreneur or I even work with a lot of like a salesperson, stuff like that, there's a few things that everyone wants. One is accountability. And I've never had a client that didn't want that part of it. And so that's one of the major purposes of coaching, I think. But another aspect was mindset. I was finding that it didn't matter who I was working with. A lot of it came down to their mindset. And when we could get them with the right mindset and create a powerful mindset, they could take their life and their business and everything they are doing to another realm and just take it all to the next level. But as long as they had a weak mindset, none of it was working. And so one of the things I've been spending a lot of time on recently is focusing more on that and working with people, whether it's entrepreneurs or just high achievers or athletes or coaches, on developing a powerful mindset and putting the habits in place that keep that powerful mindset so they can do the things that, and basically to maximize what their potential really is.
I think it's awesome, the idea, because I totally agree with you. I think the mindset and the way that you can operate the mindset can make the difference in the long run about the result. How do you think that if you can give me some tips for me to use in the daily life, maybe today, tomorrow, to improve my mindset?
Number one, recognizing your self-talk. If you think about it, the conversations that are going on in your head on a continual basis, you're asking and answering questions to yourself all the time. And, probably right now you heard that and thought, is that what we're doing? Well, yeah, you just asked yourself a question. And it's a continual conversation in your head of questions. And it's the habitual questions that you're always asking that really impacts your mindset. And so when you start focusing on those questions you're asking and knowing what they are, you'll start recognizing it. Not that you'll never have a negative thought come into your mind, but you'll recognize it and you can change that thought pattern. And when you change that, you can really shift your mindset. And, one of the things that I talk about a lot is your reticular activating system, your RAS. And what that is basically a filter in your brain that filters out what's important to you. Because if you look around you, there are so many stimuli right now. You can't pay attention to all of it. You can't pay attention to what you're doing at your desk, the bird at the window, the air touching your skin, your shirt touching your skin, whatever. There's so many things. So your RAS helps to filter out the things that are important to you. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that people can really relate to how this works is, an example I use is when we moved to Arizona from Canada, I bought my daughter a little Mitsubishi Spider car. I'd never seen this car before that I'm aware of. After I bought that, I saw that car everywhere. Now, it's not that all of a sudden everyone else around me bought it too. It's just something that my mind all of a sudden says, okay, this car is something important to him, and you start recognizing it. It's like when a lady buys a new dress and all of a sudden she starts seeing other ladies with the same dress. So it's what is happening in your mind that your mind is recognized as important, and it'll recognize those things. And so I use a tool I call your mindset questions. And they're questions that you ask yourself every single day. And what that does is it helps you to recognize important things in your life. And it's just like when you set goals. When you set goals and you review those goals all the time, your mind is going to help you find answers to achieve those goals because it's looking for them. You know, it might be something that you normally wouldn't have even recognized or paid attention to, but because it's something important to you, your mind says, hey, this is important, pay attention. And that's how you're going to start achieving these goals. And so by asking some of these certain questions on a daily basis, it gets you in the habit of looking for these things. And it really sets you up for success that way, I believe, and helps you to have a strong, powerful mindset.
Can you tell me? I think it's amazing, and I never listen about like the mindset questions. I think it's like it's a way to put you in the present, and yes. I think that is amazing. First of all, can you tell me? I don't want one or two questions that we can use it just to have an idea what like.
Absolutely, yeah. So I have in my mindset journal. It's a journal that I have that you can just go through some daily things to help you with that. And I've got my mindset questions in there. And what I think the most important one I have in there is, what can you do today that'll take you outside your comfort zone? And the reason I think that's so important is because everyone's got a certain comfort zone. And you know, when you do something new and it's uncomfortable, when you've done it a few times, all of a sudden it's normal. You know, probably the first time you did this podcast, it was a little uncomfortable, but now it's just second nature. And if you're doing something every single day to take you outside of your comfort zone, your comfort zone becomes huge. And so to do some of the things that would normally be outside of your comfort zone and holding you back from progress becomes easy. So that just becomes easier and easier. The first question is, what is one thing that I can get really excited about today? You know, just looking at that, saying, okay, what am I going to be excited about? What's on my schedule that makes me excited? And then another is, what could potentially cause me stress today, and how can I best deal with it? And, you know, it's just going through those mindset questions every morning basically sets your day up for success. That stuff like that, you're prepared for it ahead of time. Your mind's in the right place, and you're setting yourself up for success.
I think it's amazing. Yeah. I think it's a really, 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 like I said it, and I like when you say the questions, it's a really good way to put you in the present and to think it's what's really important to you. And if it's stressful or if it's a problem, what you can do about it. Like, what is the solution, not the problem. I think it's...
And that allows you to look at situations and respond to them rather than react to them, because you're thinking it out ahead of time.
Wow, really nice, really nice. Let's talk a little bit about the mindset the journal. Can you tell me a little bit more for the ones that...
Yeah. Absolutely. So the way I've got it created, it's got a number of different parts to it. It's set up in a monthly format, and it starts off on your goals, because I think it's really important to have your goals set up. And I go through a few different steps. The first one is one that I learned from Mark Victor Hansen, and it's just your 101 goals. And it's basically sit down and figure out 101 goals that you want to achieve. And the biggest reason I have you do that is just to get your mind flowing, because, you know, I ask you to get in the same mind you'd be as a child. You know, what do you want? Just anything. You know, 101 is quite a bit to start out with. Just sit down and say, okay, start writing all your goals, and you get to 10 and you're like, oh man, I got to do still another 91 of these things. And so it really gets you flowing with that. And then I go through, the next one is my clarity tool, which is a tool that I use to really narrow down what your top goals are and get clear on what they are and how you're going to achieve it, what you need to do to achieve those goals. And then I think one of the most important tools is the next one. And it's one I got from Dean Graziosi, which I call the 7 levels deep. And it's going with each of those goals that you've identified. And you just start out and say, okay, why do I want to achieve this? And you write that out. And then you take that answer and say, why? Why do I want that? And you do that 7 times. And when you go, I've had people say, oh, I figured it all out. I went through it. It only took me 5 times. No, you've got to keep going. I want you to do it 7 times, because when you've done it 7 times, you really identify what your true why is behind that goal. And that's what's going to be your motivation. On the days you don't want to get out of bed, that's what's going to get you out of bed, because you know why you're working towards that goal. And so that's the first thing I do, is get you to really figure out your goals in the journal. And then the next part, if you go to chapter 2 in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, you write out your definite chief aim statement. And I have you write out that and create a definite chief aim. So at this point, you've got your goals and you've got your definite chief aim. Those are some of the most important things that you can create. And what I do with those going forward is every single day, there's a section that in the morning, you're going to write out all your goals. And then you're going to write out your definite chief aim. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. Just like I was talking about with your RAS, your reticular activating system, you want to keep them in mind. And I've had people ask, well, can I just do this on my computer, type it out? No, write it out by hand, because when you write it out by hand, you're actually going through the motions of writing it out, you're reading it, and it's taking you longer. And so it's really getting in your mind. And I think it's really important. And then at night, I ask you too, go read over them again. You don't have to write them out again, but go read over them. So those are how it begins. Then, it's got a monthly calendar, so you can figure out your main things that are happening that month, main events, main everything. Then on a daily basis, it's got your daily calendar, so you can schedule your time. One of them I learned from Brennan Bouchard. I think one of the most important things you can do with your daily schedule is to block your time. Block your time that you can work on your most important tasks with no distractions. And, during quarantine, when kids are at home, all that, I think this is vital, because you've got to be able to say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 60 minutes. There's going to be no kids. There's going to be no phone calls. There's going to be no emails, social media, anything. I'm just focused on this task. At the end of that task, you can take a break, whatever you need to, deal with employees, deal with kids, whatever it is. But you need to schedule some block time that you can work on your focused task. Now, the next part is going through your morning mindset questions that we just talked about. And then from there, I have what I call my morning journal, which is just somewhere that I want you to spend 5-10 minutes just creating. What are you going to do? What are your thoughts? What's been on your mind? It can be anything. And what I just recently added to it was some thoughts from Benjamin Hardy that I thought, if you're writing and you're struggling with some of the things to write about, he gave some good advice. He says, what are you trying to accomplish right now? Where do you want to be in 90 days? What is your purpose? What are you grateful for? Who is your future self? What power moves are you going to make today? And so just 5-10 minutes writing about those things. And it's really a powerful way to start your morning. And then from there, in the evening, we do the similar thing. We have the evening mindset questions, basically looking back on, okay, how did today go? What successes did you have? And then there's an evening journal and a recap and those sort of things. But that's kind of a quick summary of what the mindset journal is. It sounds like a lot. It doesn't take as much time as it sounds. My routine is I get up at 4:30. I work in my journal till 5, go to the gym, and then that's the majority of my stuff until the evening.
I think it's like, and how much time it's too much if you are investing in yourself? That is the first question. Because if you invest 30 minutes in the morning in yourself, it's too much. I think it's not.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I just yes, today actually. Today I posted an article on jeffheggie.com about setting up your morning. And the first, I can't remember the psychologist's name right off the top of my head, but he says the first 3 hours of your day are what sets your day up for success and productivity. And so I talk about those things on how if you set up your morning properly and invest it in yourself, you're going to free up time at the end of the day. And just like where you're going with that, one of the things I say in there is schedule time for personal development, schedule time to sit down and read, listen to a podcast, read a blog, whatever it is, but schedule that time. Because when you get through the busyness of the day, you might think, oh, I'll read tomorrow, I didn't have time today. It's too important for that. You've got to schedule that time so that you're doing it every single day and investing in that in yourself.
Totally agree with you. I think and I totally agree. And the morning for me, it's really important. If you start the day strong, I think the rest of the day, it will just follow up like the day, like because you start strong, you start like doing exercise, reading, putting like not just exercise to the body, but also for the mind. I think
Absolutely.
It's really, really important. And one of the questions that you have in your mindset journal, I like to ask to my guests about your purpose. Did you found already your purpose in life, your meaning?
Yeah. I used to just say that my whole meaning, my whole purpose, my whole definition of success was to create opportunities and memories for my family. And that still is. But I also would say I've probably looked at that a little different since I did the 7 levels deep for myself and really found out my why behind that and why I do what I do. Because I mean, that's something I talked actually on my podcast this morning about, is the fact that we look at what we have to do, but oftentimes it's at the expense of our lifestyle or our family or whatever it is. And so we need to decide what the important things are in our lives and create our life around those things. And so, when I look at it and look at the 7 levels deep, mine comes down to, I want to create a lifestyle where I can make the choices on what I do when I do them. So that, I mean, for example, my daughter, I had the opportunity, I was her basketball coach from elementary school up to her senior year, pretty much. And, to have the ability to do that. When my son was younger, I helped coach his football team. And, there's the opportunity to be able to have the freedom to do that, to be able to pick my kids up from school. Those sort of things are something that are important to me. And so I need to create my career around being able to do those things. And so that's where my purpose comes in.
I love it. I love it, really. And now I wanted to ask you, it comes now with another question, that is that what is your definition of success? Because I think it's connected.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, success is the accomplishment of a purpose. And I think, Earl Nightingale, I'm not going to quote him because I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it's basically he says in The Stranger's Secret, he says success is living and doing the things that you want in life. And that's how I would define it. Success is being able to do the things you want in life and creating your lifestyle and your career around that.
Awesome, really, really. I wanted to ask you now, imagine for the ones that are in the same situation that you, that that are in a normal career, but they want to change and maybe become a coach, but they are too afraid. They are with the imposter syndrome, like you said it. What is your advice to them?
It's funny because it was an offer I made on my podcast this morning that I just
Wow,
said, I want to work with 25 people that want to do this because
nice.
you know what, if that's been a dream of yours and you've wanted to take that step, you've wanted to do something else, or you wanted to take the knowledge that you have and share it and make it a career, whatever it is,
Hmm.
has there ever been a better time? You know, there's so much chaos and the world's upside down right now. If you're going to make a change, now is a great time. But you know, one of the things, and I think one of the things to start with, people need a mentor or a coach. And it doesn't mean they have to go get a coach like me, something like that. But they need someone that's going to hold them accountable and be honest with them. You know, it's not your best friend, because your best friend's not going to be blunt with you when you're needing them to be blunt. You need someone that's going to be straight up with you, hold you accountable, and be honest. And whether that's a coach or just a mentor, you know, I've got a brother-in-law that we have accountability meetings every 2 weeks that we say, this is what we're going to do over the next 2 weeks. And we go through that and hold each other accountable to that. I've got a coach that holds me accountable to the things that I work on with him. And I think that is something you need, because it also, when the coach or your mentor knows what your goals and your desires are, they can push you. They can hold you accountable to make sure that you're doing it. Because just because you want to do it, you know, I talked about myself. I'm teaching this and I went through the same stuff. I had the imposter syndrome. Wasn't pulling the trigger. I kept putting things off. I want to do that, but well, no, I'm not ready yet. I just needed someone to say, yeah, go do it. And that's the thing, is there are so many people with the experiences they have. I mean, knowing a little bit about you, I know you've got some incredible stories, I'm sure, and some incredible experiences that would be so helpful to someone trying to take that same path that you've taken. And that's where all this knowledge industry is so valuable, is people don't realize that they have an expertise within them, and other people are trying to do what they've already achieved. And you can share that knowledge. You can become, whether it's a coach or whatever it is, you can get into the knowledge industry and help people achieve their dreams that you've already achieved. And so if you're holding back, start figuring out how to take that next step and figure out what it is that you need to do to do it. Because unless you actually get out there and do it, or you have someone, a mentor or a coach, that's going to hold you accountable and push you to do it, you're not going to do it. And you're just going to be sitting here in a year from now thinking, man, I should do this. No, you should have done it 12 months ago.
No, for me, at least for now, it was the podcast, man. I was 1 year waiting to start the podcast because I was not too good. Like you were saying, there is a lot of podcasts there, but like, man, who is judging? And like you said it, I think it's really important to have a mentor, because sometimes the person just did already what you want to do. So you just have to follow the steps. It's saving you time, and time it's the most important thing that we have here. So
Absolutely.
I totally
That's
agree with you.
with I've got a mastermind group, and that's what I think is the most valuable thing in a mastermind, is someone will come in there and say, this is what I'm dealing with. I don't know. Well, I'll use myself as an example. This is one of the things that inspired me to create a mastermind group in the whole commotion of 2008 and the economy and everything. I was having some struggles with my stone company, trying to figure out what I needed to do next to keep it going forward. And I was actually at a business conference, and I was sitting at a table with a lady that owned a scrapbooking company. And I had been struggling trying to figure out what I was going to do. And she told me what she had done with her scrapbooking company. There's no way I would have ever thought a scrapbooking company and a stone company had anything in common, but it's exactly what I needed to hear. And it saved me so much time because I took her advice from a completely different industry. And that's where a mastermind can come in. That's where a coach can come in. They can say just what you said. They can save you so much time and usually so much pain.
Exactly, and sometimes because it's the consistency by yourself, it's not easy. I think it's like you do it by yourself. Sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think like have somebody that is by your side, that is fighting with you. I think it's really important. Now I seen some of your videos talking about gratitude. How do you
Yeah.
think that gratitude and being grateful can just helping you to enjoy more life and improve your life?
I think everyone's so busy and so much is going on, and especially right now with COVID and all the negativity that's surrounded everyone, people forget there are some really great things in their lives. And that's one thing I think, especially people that are dealing with a lot of anxiety, if they, I'm not saying this is a cure for it, but if they would take some time every single morning to write in a gratitude journal and just write about the things they're grateful for, it really changes your demeanor. It really changes your feelings. And it helps you to recognize that, yeah, you know what, maybe I'm going through some tough stuff, but you know what, I've got some really good things in my life too. And it doesn't take a lot. I woke up on the right side of the bed today. Whatever it is, whatever it is, there's always something you can be grateful for. And I think if people spend the time to recognize that and recognize that there's always something to be grateful for, that it'll help relieve a lot of stress and help give a lot of clarity.
I totally agree. It's just it helps you. Just I think it's a way to put the glasses. You just see it in a better way. Like you wake up, you are breathing. It's already a victory.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are seeing or listening this podcast, you are like in the top, I don't know, half of the population for sure. So
Absolutely.
you are winning all the time. And let's talk about now about your gratitude journal. Like I know that you already have one. Do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, I just think it's a powerful thing, whether you spend 2 minutes in it or 10 minutes in it every day, just writing down things that you're grateful for. Sometimes it's going to be big things, sometimes it's going to be little things, but just it's powerful. You may have heard on one of my podcasts I shared before too, and this was an idea I heard from Darren Hardy, writing a gratitude journal towards someone else. And it can really impact a relationship. So, for example, when I first heard this from Darren, I can't remember how many months I went, but every day I would write in my gratitude journal something that I was grateful for about my wife. And sometimes it was something deep. Sometimes it was, thanks for giving me a hug this morning. Sometimes it was, thanks for doing my laundry. Sometimes it was, thanks for going on a date with me, whatever it was. But when you do that every single day, number one, you're looking for something every day to be grateful for them. And that alone is going to change your relationship with them. Number two, they don't know you're doing it. After you've done it for a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, it's a pretty cool gift to give to them and give them the opportunity to go through it.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice idea, and I think like, man, just try it 1 month. Why not? I
Yeah,
will do it. I
absolutely.
will do it. Just try it. And It's really for you
I'd
and
love
for
to
the
hear
other
about
people.
it.
I will do for sure. We will keep in touch. Don't worry about that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But I will tell you about now. Let's go a little bit to the mindset because I like it. How do you describe how you see your mindset?
To me, your mindset is your set of attitudes and beliefs,
Hmm.
and mostly your beliefs about yourself. Because really, you look through all the classic books and writings and stuff. It's, think and grow rich. As a man thinketh, you become what you think about. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. It all comes back to the mind, and it's because it's such a powerful tool that we have. And like I was talking earlier, the habitual questions that we ask ourselves has so much control over our life. And the things that we think about on a continual basis are going to be the outward person that we become. And so I think that's why it's so important to gain control over your mindset, because it can be little things. Telling yourself you're not good enough. Well, you tell yourself you're not good enough every single day, guess what? You're not going to be good enough. Telling yourself you can't do something. You tell yourself all that time, you're going to comply. You're not going to be good enough. And then people say, okay, so I tell myself every day that I'm good enough, whatever, I can do it. I'm still not doing it. If you can stick to it, if you can focus on convincing yourself that you are good enough, you are going to find the ways to do it. You are going to find the ways, and it might not be exactly what you expect it to be, but you're going to have, it's easy to understand. Your outcome, if you sit there and tell yourself you're not good enough, compared to your outcome if you have the confidence that you are good enough, is going to be drastically different. In my momentum series training, I talk about the success cycle. And in that, what we go through, it's a Tony Robbins model, but it looks at your potential. And, you look at the potentials of human beings, it's unlimited, right? And then it goes to action. And if you go in a clockwise motion, it goes potential, action, results. And he says belief and certainty, and I would call it confidence. When you don't have high confidence or high belief and certainty, are you really going to execute your full potential? You're not. And if you don't execute your full potential, you're not going to take the massive action, and your results are going to reflect that. And it's just going to continue that way. Now, if you have high belief and certainty, high confidence, you're going to exercise your full potential. You're going to take massive action, and your results are going to reflect it. So either way, you're going to spiral either up or you spiral down, all depending on, I think the key to that is your belief and certainty, or what I say, confidence. And that comes back to your mindset.
Oh, I think no. I totally agree with you, because it's something that we have to work with, and the more that we understand the importance of having a good mindset, like it's going the circle, like you said, the action, it will be better, but it's something that you have to work it. Like for
Yes.
me, I think personally, martial arts and doing jiu-jitsu, it helped me a lot. I know that you also had a career as in the rodeo.
Yes.
How do you think that's helped you? If it helped you, or
I actually went, so in rodeo, I was a professional steer wrestler, and there's probably a lot of people on this that don't know what that is.
yeah, in Europe we
Basically,
don't know.
so basically, you're on a horse. There's a steer running down the middle of the arena. There's another horse making sure that it goes straight, and you're jumping off onto its horns and wrestling it to the ground. And so, that was quite a while ago. I didn't study mindset like I do now, but
Hmm.
it was an important aspect to me because I knew the mental part of the game. And I would spend time before every time it was going to be my turn to go. I would spend time almost in a meditative state, thinking about it and visualizing and seeing the run before it happened. And I think that played a major role in when I was successful or not, on how I could prepare my mind, because there's so many aspects of it that it comes down to, obviously it's a physical sport, but there's a mental side to it. And it's, when you talk about sports and mindfulness and stuff, you hear people talk about the flow and those sort of things. And you've got to be in the right mindset to get in that flow. And that flow is basically when you can do things almost unconsciously, that it all just happens, and it's because you're in the right mental mindset.
Yeah, completely, man. I saw some of the videos and it was impressive.
Did you?
It was impressive. The turn, like it's like wrestling. It's really similar, like wrestling, like with just a bull.
Yeah.
You talked about visualization, like where you put visualization in your day, if you use it daily, if it's something that you do daily.
Absolutely. I think it's an important thing. I I learned a lot of my thoughts and beliefs on it from Napoleon Hill, and then I was introduced to Neville Goddard, who is very detailed about it. And probably the biggest thing I learned from him was when you're working on visualization, don't do it as an observer, like you're watching a movie. Do it as if you're the actor, you're in it, and put yourself in that position. And so, what I suggest with it and what I tell my clients is you don't have to spend hours upon hours doing it. Spend that 10 minutes before you fall asleep. Just before you fall asleep, visualize, and depends what your goals are, visualize that future that you're working towards and put yourself in that. And it's just like with what we talk about with the RIS, putting yourself in that position, you're going to be amazed at the outcomes that come from it.
The quantity of spider cars that we will find in our way.
Yes.
I'm understanding. I'm completely understanding. Yeah, because it's and after it's everything connected, like you said it. If you work like, for example, with, I'm not saying like it has to be your mindset journal, or it doesn't matter. If you work in your goals, after you create the habits and with the visualization that puts you in the right path, like it's the connection between, and
Yes.
like it's, and like you were saying also with the mindset, if you have to think that you are capable of doing or not, and if it's the same price, at least
Exactly.
let's think that you are, like at least, yes. I already understood that you have some daily habits that is passing for your mindset journal. Be grateful in the morning. um, Tell me a little bit more, what is a day in your life starting in the morning, because
Yeah, absolutely. My alarm goes off at 4:28 a.m. I go straight to my mindset journal, work on that. I go to the gym at 5. And then I have a bit of a break there because I get the kids off to school, those sort of things. And then I try to focus on my block time at that point. Um, I don't know who to attribute the quote to, but it's win your morning, win your day. And so that's what I try to really focus on, getting things really accomplished in the morning and really getting the momentum going. And then from there on, it's going to be dealing with the fires, dealing with the whatever it is that you're dealing with. And for me, it's a number of things, because I still run my stone company. I'm working with clients, whether it's on a Zoom call or a phone call, or some of my clients, we don't have the one-on-ones as often, and it's more through emails and stuff. So we're back and forth on emails. So it's different throughout the day. And then with my different courses that I'm working on, it's either creating the courses or working on those, or it's right now what I've been doing a lot of is, because I'm putting a new course together for Mindset Secrets, I've been doing a lot of research and studying and reading, and it's been interesting. There's been a lot of discoveries that have been a lot of fun.
It's nice. First I want that you tell me a little bit about your marketing course that you already have. If you want to share a little bit, if somebody.
Yeah. So Marketing Accelerated, it's a course that I kind of created at the beginning of the pandemic, just because I thought it would be a great course for a lot of entrepreneurs that are struggling to figure things out. And they, just like I said with my business coaching, they need to create more leads. They need to create better conversions, those sort of things. This has just been a really great course that I've condensed a few things in a basically do-it-yourself course, and it's really been has some really good results so far. So part of it is teaching them some of the concepts, talking about the history of marketing and where it's come from, and talking about the buyer's journey and identifying how that works, and the importance of knowing where a buyer is in that journey and how you keep them in your funnel, so to speak. Because, for example, I see so many businesses that they started their business and they knew they had to have a website. So they dumped a whole bunch of money into their website, developed this pretty website, and then the business owner hasn't looked at it in the last 10 years. And what they don't realize is, if I come to their website and I'm not ready to buy right now, I may never come back. So they've got to understand how they can create that relationship with me, so that when I become a now buyer, when I'm ready to buy, that we have that relationship and I'm going to come back to them. And so we look at that. We look at creating a market dominating position, drip campaigns, email campaigns, mail campaigns, those things. And then the cool thing about this was when I was creating it, I had a couple people that I had done some work with reach out to me and said, what, this sounds like a really cool course. We would love to add to it. And so my bonus section in that course alone is worth more than what they pay for the course. Well, to begin with, I've got in the bonuses, I've got a template and instructions how to create a powerful elevator pitch. And Burkhart Creative Agency has created a course for, everyone's working at home now. So they created a video course called The Ultimate Small Business Guide to Shooting Video at Home. And so they give that as a freebie as part of my course. I give 2 months to membership to my live monthly coaching. I give 2-month membership to my Inner Circle Mastermind. And then Nº1 Solutions, which is a digital marketing specialist that I do some work with, gives a free 2-hour consultation. Because one of the things I knew that would happen was, we teach some of these things like the drip campaigns, the email campaigns, and how to capture leads off your website. Well, a lot of these entrepreneurs, one, don't know how to do it, and two, should be working on their business, not in their business, and shouldn't be spending their time figuring those things out. And so Nº1 Solution is just offering free 2 hours of consultation, either one, telling them how to do it, or two, saying, yeah, here's what it would take and we can do this for you. And so it's got some really cool bonuses for people. But yeah, it's been some great feedback from it and seeing some good results. So it's been a good course.
Nice. I like it. And it's really important nowadays, if you have even if you have a physical business or it's just a digital business, you have to have a digital print. You have to have a website or Instagram. You have it's where the people search for you. I totally agree with you.
It is. And and that, like I say, that's the biggest thing is they find you.
Mm.
But really, when you look at the whole spectrum of things, it's usually 1 to 3% of them are what I call now buyers. They're ready to buy right now. The rest of them are still in the discovery mode of either are they going to buy or who they're going to buy from. And if you don't have a way to capture their information, give them some free information and build a relationship with them, then you may never see them again.
No, yeah, because somebody will do that job for sure. Like you were,
Yes. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, no, digital marketing, and nowadays, and with the pandemic, it shows the importance of it, and totally.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to ask you about like going to a little bit to again to the daily habits. If you have a habit that you have to advise me and the listeners and the viewers to start today, which will be?
Number one habit?
Yeah, one.
Never hit snooze. If you let me think of the name. It's actually in my post today. That's what in the blog that I wrote today. But Jocko, he wrote. I gotta think of the name. I can't think of the name of his book right now. But that's one of the things they talk about. It talks about the Navy SEALs, and he says, start your day with a win, and never hitting snooze. You're starting your day with a win, and when that alarm goes off, are you going to hit snooze and go back to sleep, or are you going to start the day with a win and start your momentum right there? And I think that's powerful because it's so easy to hit snooze. I was on our mastermind call a few weeks ago, and we were talking about schedules and stuff. And one of the people on the call said they usually hit snooze 6 times in the morning. and the cool thing is, they actually mentioned in our mastermind this past week that they don't do that anymore. They're at the gym at 5 in the morning. So it's a win.
It's a complete win because it is, and it's so easy to just put the snooze, and it's the first feature of the day. And you were talking about schedule. How do you schedule your day? Do you schedule in the night? You do something in the morning?
Yeah. So I will, for example, tonight when I work on my evening mindset questions, my evening journal and stuff, I'll fill in everything I can for my schedule tomorrow so that I'm aware of it. And, a lot of it might be just because I want my subconscious thinking about it through the night. And then in the morning, when I'm doing my morning mindset questions, I review it again. Usually between night and morning, I'm not having any adjustments, but because my clients have access to my calendar, they might have jumped in there and I've got to add those in. But I think the important part is reviewing it and then reviewing it in the morning and then making sure you've got your block time. Now, I actually had a really good conversation in my comments in my Facebook group for my Daily Success Habits podcast. Someone made a comment, how do you block your time and be in a leadership position? Because, I can't shut my door for 4 hours and just lock everyone out because they need me. And so I think the important thing there is, when you block your time, shouldn't be much more than 60 minutes at a time. And when you're in a leadership position, you can take 60 minutes and just say, hey, there's no disruptions for this 60 minutes. But then those other times, you've got to have some flexibility so that you can lead your team and they've got access to you. But so if you're blocking 2 spots a day, make sure there's flexibility in between.
So really nice. No. Like it's a really nice, and it's a point that you make it, and like I think it's quite important. Block your time for your personal development and to work in the things that in your goals, in the things that you want. I think it's really important. Now let's ask me, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I think that is that I helped people create their better futures, that I was able to help people fulfill their dreams and have the courage to step out of their comfort zone and do the things that they need to achieve their dreams.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Now, let's talk. You were talking about some new projects, about the mindset secrets. Do you want to share some new projects with me?
Absolutely. That one I'm excited about. It actually has been a lot of fun working on it and doing the research. But it's going to be a 6-week module that's going to have my course that's involved in it, plus some one-on-one coaching that's with that. But it's really for anyone that's a high achiever, an entrepreneur, an athlete, a coach, whatever you're in, and you want to take your life, your business, your desires and dreams to the next level. That's who I'm designing it for, is to help those people achieve those things. And it's been a fun course to work on. It's taken me a lot longer than I anticipated. But a lot of it's because I'll get a module done and then through research find more stuff thinking, oh, they've got to hear that, they've got to know this part and how this ties together. But it's getting there, and we're about ready. And I've been doing I've had people contacting me to do some free strategy sessions to talk about some of these things and see if it's a fit for them. And so that's something I'm opened up to right now. But that's the course that I'm excited about right now, because I think it's going to have an incredible impact on some lives.
Nice. No. I think let's let it come out. And you were saying, like, if the people want to where the people can find you, your social media, the best way to contact you.
Yeah, for sure. So on jeffheggie.com, that's JEFFHEGGIE.com. You can find all my courses and everything there, my mastermind, all my training. But on social media, on Instagram, it's Jeff Heggie Coaching. On Facebook, it's Jeff Heggie Coaching. LinkedIn, it's Jeff Heggie. Actually, it might be D Jeff Heggie. I think it's Jeff Heggie. And
I will check it.
Thank you. And on Twitter, it's just Jeff Heggie Coach.
Okay, I will put after in the description of the video. Now I like to ask it to my guests, which book you will advise me to read? 1, 2.
Absolutely. I don't know if you do all this is audio or video as well, but you can see my library behind me.
Yeah.
There are so many there that are good. But when I narrow it down, when I have to pick what probably are the most impactful, I think I usually go back to 2 classics, and that is Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People. In fact, right now in our Inner Circle Mastermind, as a group, we're going through Think and Grow Rich, and it's been awesome doing it as a group like that and studying it. It's been really cool.
Oh, yeah, because a book like that, it's not too, you can read it one time and that's it. But if you go deeper, whoa, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I've read and listened to Think and Grow Rich more times than I know, but going through it right now and knowing that every Wednesday on my mastermind we're going to be discussing it, I've got so much more out of it. I'm the type of person, if you open my books, they're highlighted, underlined, everything. And I've read it enough that I would think, okay, there's no more highlighting or underlining to do, but it's been a lot more. So yeah, it's been awesome.
No. It's the kind of book that every time that you go there, you learn a little bit more about it. No,
yeah, absolutely.
Now to end up, I want to ask you if you can give to me and to the guests a tip to make the world a better place, what it will be.
What it would be? Look to do as much as you can for others without the expectation of anything in return.
Jeff, thank you so much. I think we can end up like big like this. Thank you so much for the opportunity. People, don't forget to follow Jeff in all the social media that I will put in the description of the video, and in the also in the Spotify. People, follow us also in all the social media. Jeff, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity. Great day for
Thank
you.
you. I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it, and it was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff.